We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 17. Let me open the page. One second. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter. Okay, I'm ready. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 17, the descendant of the river Ganges. श्रीसुक उवाच तत्र भगवतः साक्षात् यज्ञलिङ्गस्य विष्णोर्विक्रमतो वामपादाङ्गुष्ठ नख निर्भिन्नोद्वाण्डकटाः विवरेणान्तः प्रविष्टा या बाह्यजलधारा तच्चरणपङ्कजावने पङ्कजा अवनेजा नारुण किञ्जल्कोपरञ्जिताखिल जगत् अघ मलापहो स्पर्शनामला साक्षात् भगवत्पदीति अनुपलक्षितवचोऽभिधीयमानाति महता कालेन युगसहस्रोपलक्षणेन दिवो मूर्धनि अवतार यत्तद्विष्णुपदम् आहुः. Shukadeva Goswami said, My dear King, Lord Vishnu, the enjoyer of all sacrifices, appeared as Vamana Deva in the sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj. Then he extended his left foot to the end of the universe and pierced a hole in its covering with the nail of his big toe. Through the hole, the pure water of the causal ocean entered this universe as the Ganges river. Having washed the lotus feet of the Lord Vishnu, which are covered with reddish powder, the water of Ganges acquired a very beautiful pink color. Every living being can immediately purify his mind of mental contamination by touching the transcendental water of the Ganges, yet its waters remain ever pure. Because the Ganges directly touches the lotus feet of the Lord before descending within this universe, she is known as Vishnupadi. Later, she received other names like Jahnavi and Bhagirathi. After 1000 millenniums, the water of Ganges descended to Dhruvaloka, the topmost planet in this universe. Therefore, all learned sages and scholars proclaim Dhruvaloka to be Vishnupada, situated on Lord Vishnu's lotus feet. यत्र वाववीरव्रत औत्तन्नापादि आदिः परमभागवतोऽस्मत् कुलदेवता चरणारविन्दोदकम् इति याम् अनुसवनम् उत्कृष्यमान भगवद्भक्तियोगेन दृढं क्लिद्यमानान्तर्हृदया औत्कण्ठ्या विवसामीलितलोचना कुड्मल विगलितामला बाष्पकलयाभिव्यजमाना रोमपुलककुलकोऽधुनापि परमादे परम आदरेण शिरसा बिभर्ति. Dhruva Maharaj, the famous son of Maharaj Uttanapada, is known as the most exalted devotee of the Supreme Lord because of his firm determination in executing devotional service. Knowing that the sacred Ganges water washes the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, Dhruva Maharaj, situated on his own planet to this very day, accepts that water on his head with great devotion. Because he constantly thinks of Krishna very devotedly within the core of his heart, he is overcome with ecstatic anxiety. Tears flow from his half open eyes and eruptions appear on his body, entire body. ततः सप्त ऋषयस्तद् प्रभावाभिज्ञायां ननु तपः स आत्यन्तिकी सिद्धिरेतावती भगवती सर्वात्मनि वासुदेवे अनुपरता भक्तैयोग लाभे नैवोपेक्षितान्यार्थात्म गतयो मुक्तिम् इवागतां मुमुक्षव इव सबहु मानम् सबहुमानम् अद्यापि जटाजूटैर्उद्वहन्ति. The seven great sages Marichi, Vashishta, Atri, and so on reside on planets beneath Dhruvaloka. Well aware of the influence of the water of Ganges, to this day they keep Ganges water on the tufts of hair on their heads. They have concluded that this is the ultimate wealth, the perfection of all austerities, and the best means of prosecuting transcendental life. Having obtained uninterrupted devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they neglect all other beneficial processes like religion, economic development, sense gratification, and even merging into the Supreme. Just as Gyanis think that merging into the existence of the Lord is the highest truth, these seven exalted personalities accept devotional service as the perfection of life. ततोऽनेकसहस्रकोटिविमानानीकसङ्कुलदेवयानेनावतार अन्तिन्दु मण्डलम् आवर्य ब्रह्मसदने निपतति. After purifying the seven planets near Dhruvaloka, the pole star, the Ganges water is carried through spaceways of the demigods in billions of celestial airplanes. Then it inundates the moon, Chandraloka, and finally reaches Lord Brahma's abode atop Mount Meru. तत्र चतुर्धा विद्यमाना चतुर्भिर्नामभिश्चतुर्दिशम् अभिस्पन्दन्ति नदनदी पतिम् एवाभिनिविशति सीतालकनन्दा चक्षुर्भद्रेति. On top of Mount Meru, the Ganges divides into four branches, each of which gushes in a different direction: east, west, north, and south. These branches, known as Sita, Alakananda, Chakshu, and Bhadra, flow down to the ocean. Sita to Brahma Sadanad Kesarachaladi Shikharebhyodho Daha Prasravanti Gandhamadana Murdashu Patitvantyarena Bhadrashva Varsham Pracyam Disha Kshara Samudram Abhipravishyati. The branch of the Ganges known as the Sita flows through Brahmapuri atop Mount Meru, and from there it runs down to the nearby peaks of Kesarachala mountain, which stand almost as high as Mount Meru itself. These mountains are like a bunch of filaments around Mount Meru. From the Kesarachala mountains, the Ganges falls to the peak of Gandhamadana mountain and then flows into the land of Bhadrashva. Finally, it reaches the ocean of salt water in the west. एवं माल्यावच्छिखरान् निस्पतन्ति ततो अनुपरत वेगा केतुमालाम् अभिचक्षु प्रतीच्यां दिशि सरित्पतिं प्रविश्यति. The branch of the Ganges known as Chakshu falls onto the summit of Malyavan mountain and from there cascades onto the land of Ketumala Varsha. The Ganges flows incessantly through Ketumala Varsha and in this way also reaches the ocean of salt water in the west. Bhadra Chotarato मेरु शिरसो निपतिता गिरि शिखरात् गिरि शिखरम् अतिहाय शृङ्गवत शृङ्गात् अवस्यनन्द अवस्यन्द अवस्यन्दमान उत्तरांस्तु कुरून् अभित उदीच्यां दिशि जलधिम् अभिप्रविश्यति. The branch of Ganges known as Bhadra flows from the northern side of Mount Meru. Its waters fall onto the peak of Kumuda mountain, Mount Neela, Sweta mountain, and Shringavan mountain in succession. Then it runs down into the province of Kuru and after crossing through that land, flows into the salt water ocean in the north. तथैवालकनन्द दक्षिणेन ब्रह्मसदनाद बहूनि गिरिकूटानि अतिक्रम्य हेमकूटात् दैमकूटानि अति रभसतरमहसा लुठ्ययन् लुठय लुठयन्ति भारतम् अभिवर्षं दक्षिणस्यां दिशि जलधिम् अभिप्रविशति यस्यां स्नानार्थं चागच्छत पुंसा पदे पदे अश्वमेध राजसूयादीनां फलं न दुर्लभम् इति. Similarly, the branches of the Ganges, known as Alakananda, flows from the southern side of Brahmapuri, Brahmasadana, passing over the tops of mountains in various lands. It falls down with fierce force upon the peaks of mountain Hemakuta and Himakuta. After inundating the tops of those mountains, the Ganges falls down onto the tract of land known as Bharatavarsha, which she also inundates. Then the Ganges flows into the ocean of salt water in the south. Persons who come to bath in this river are fortunate. It is not very difficult for them to achieve with every step the result of performing great sacrifices like the Rajasuya and Ashwamedha yajnas. अन्ये च नदा नद्यश्च वर्षे वर्षे सन्ति बहुशो मेर्वादिगिरिदुहितरः सतसः. Many other rivers, both big and small, flow from the top of Mount Meru. These rivers are like the daughters of the mountain, and they flow to the various tracts of land in hundreds of branches. तत्रापि भारतम् एव वर्षं कर्मक्षेत्रम् अन्याम् अष्टवर्षाणि स्वर्गीणां पुण्यशेषोपभोगस्थानानि भौमानि स्वर्गपदानि व्यपदिश्यन्ति व्यपदिशन्ति. Among the nine Varshas, the tract of land known as Bharata Varsha is understood to be the field of fruitive activities. Learned scholars and saintly persons declare the other eight Varshas to be meant for very highly elevated pious persons. After returning from the heavenly planets, they enjoy the remaining results of their pious activities in these eight earthly Varshas. येषु पुरुषाणाम् अयुता पुरुषायुर्वर्षाणां देवकल्पानां नागायुत प्राणानां वज्रसंहनन बलवयो मोद प्रमुदित महासौरत मिथुन व्यवायापवर्गवर्ष दृष्टैक गर्भकलत्राणां तत्र तु त्रेतायुगं समकालो वर्तते. In these eight varshas or tracts of land, human beings live 10,000 years according to earthly calculations. All the inhabitants are almost like demigods. They have the bodily strength of 10,000 elephants. Indeed, their bodies are as sturdy as thunderbolts. The youthful duration of their lives is very pleasing, and both men and women enjoy sexual union with great pleasure for a long time. After years of sensual pleasure, when a balance of 1 year of life remains, the wife conceives a child. Thus, the standard of pleasure for residents of these heavenly regions is exactly like that of human beings who lived during Treta Yuga. यत्र देवपतयः स्वैर्गणनायकैर्विहिता महार्हणा सर्वतो कुशम स्तबक फल किशलय श्रियनाम्यमान विटप लता विटपभिरुपसुम्बमान रुचिरा कानकाश्रमा यतन वर्षगिरिद्रोणीषु तथा चामला जलाशयेषु विकच विविध नव वनरुहा मोद मुदित राजहंस जलकुक्कुट कारण्डव सारस चक्रवाकादिभिर्मधुकर निकराकृतिभिर् उपकूजितेषु जलक्रीडादिभिर्विचित्रविनोदैः सुललित सुर सुन्दरीणां कामकलिल विलासहास लीलावलोकाकृष्ट मनोदृष्टयः स्वैरं विहरन्ति. In each of these tracts of land, there are many gardens filled with flowers and fruits according to the season, and there are beautifully decorated hermitages as well. Between the great mountains demarcating the borders of those lands lies enormous lakes of clear water filled with newly grown lotus flowers. Aquatic birds such as swans, ducks, water chickens, and cranes become greatly excited by the fragrance of the lotus flowers, and the charming sounds of bumblebees fills the air. The inhabitants of those lands are important leaders among the demigods. Always attended by their respective servants, they enjoy life in gardens alongside the lakes. In this pleasing situation, the wives of the demigods smile playfully at their husbands and look upon them with lusty desires. All the demigods and their wives are constantly supplied with sandalwood pulp and flower garlands by their servants. In this way, all the residents of 8 heavenly varshas enjoy attracted by the activities of opposite sex. नवस्वपि वर्षेषु भगवान् नारायणो महापुरुषः पुरुषाणां तत् अनुग्रहात् यात्मा तत्त्वव्यूहेनात्मा नाध्यापि सन्निधीयते. To show mercy to his devotees in each of these 9 tracts of land, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Narayana, expands himself in his quadruple principles of Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. In this way, he remains near his devotees to accept their service. इलाव्रते तु भगवान् भव एक एव पुमान्न हि अन्यस्तत्रापरो निर्विशति भवान्या शापनिमित्त निमित्तज्ञो यत् प्रवेक्ष्यतः स्त्रीभाव तत्पश्चात् वक्ष्यामि. Shukadeva Goswami said, in the tract of land known as Ilavrita Varsha, the only male person is Lord Shiva, the most powerful demigod. Goddess Durga, the wife of Lord Shiva, does not like any man to enter that land. If any foolish man dares to do so, she immediately turns him into a woman. I shall explain this later in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhavani Nathai Striganna Ganar Buddha. Sorry. भवानी नाथै स्त्री गणार्बुद सहस्रैर् अवरुध्यमानो भगवतश्चतुर्मूर्तेर्महापुरुषस्य तुरीयां तामसीं मूर्तिं प्रकृतिम् आत्मनः सङ्कर्षण संज्ञाम् आत्मसमाधिरूपेण सन्निधाप्य एतद् अभिगृह्णन् भव उपधावति. In Ilavrita Varsha, Lord Shiva is always encircled by 10 billion maid servants of Goddess Durga who ministers who minister to him. The quadruple expansion of the Supreme Lord is composed as Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Sankarshana. Sankarshana, the fourth expansion, is certainly transcendental, but because his activities of destruction in the material world are in the mode of ignorance, he is known as Tamasi, the Lord's form in the mode of ignorance. Lord Shiva knows that Shankarshana is the original cause of his own existence, and thus he always meditates upon him in trance by chanting the following mantra. Shri Bhagavan Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Sarvaguna Sankarshana Nantaya Vyaktaya Nama iti. The most powerful Lord Shiva says, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you in your expansion as Lord Sankarsana. You are the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Although you are unlimited, you remain unmanifest to the non devotees. Bhaje Bhajanyarana. Sorry. Bhaje Bhajanyarana Padapankajam Bhagasya Krishnasya Param Parayanam Bhakteshvalam Bhavita Bhuta Bhavanam Bhavapaham Tva Bhava Bhavam Ishwaram. O my Lord, you are the only worshipable person, for you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all opulences. Your secure lotus feet are the only source of protection for all your devotees, whom you satisfy by manifesting yourself in various forms. O my Lord, you deliver your devotees from the clutches of material existence. Non devotees, however, remain entangled in material existence by your will. Kindly accept me as your eternal servant. न यस्य माया गुणचित्तवृत्तिभिर्निरीक्षतो हि अन्यपि दृष्टियज्यते ईशे यथा नोचितं मन्युरंहसां कस्तं न मन्येत जिगीषुरात्मनः. We cannot control the force of our anger. Therefore, when we look at material things, we cannot avoid feeling attraction or repulsion for them. But the Supreme Lord is never affected in this way. Although he glances over the material world for the purpose of creating, maintaining, and destroying it, he is not affected, even to the slightest degree. Therefore, one who desires to conquer the force of the senses must take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Then he will be victorious. असदृशो यः प्रतिभाति मायया श्रीवेव मध्वासव ताम्रलोचनः न नागवद्वोऽर्हन ईशिरे ह्रिया यत्पादयो स्पर्शन दर्शितेन्द्रियाः. For persons with impure vision, the Supreme Lord's eyes appear like those of someone who indiscriminately drinks intoxicating beverages. Thus bewildered, such unintelligent persons become angry at the Supreme Lord, and due to their angry mood, the Lord himself appears angry and very fearful. However, this is an illusion. When the wives of the serpent demons were agitated by the touch of Lord's lotus feet, due to shyness, they could proceed no further in their worship of him. Yet the Lord remained unagitated by their touch, for he is equipoised in all circumstances. Therefore, who will not worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Yam ahur asya stitajanma samyamam tibirvihinam yam anantamirushya न वेद सिद्धार्थम इव क्वचित् स्थितं भूमण्डलं मूर्ध सहस्रधामसु. Lord Shiva continued, all the great sages accept the Lord as the source of creation, maintenance, and destruction, although he actually has nothing to do with these activities. Therefore, the Lord is called unlimited. Although the Lord, in his incarnation as Shesha, holds all the universes on his hoods, each universe feels no heavier than a mustard seed to him. Therefore, what person desiring perfection will not worship the Lord? यस्याद्यासीद् विग्रहो महान् विज्ञानदृष्ण्यो भगवान् अजः किल यत् सम्भवोऽहं त्रिवृता स्वतेजसा वैकारिकं तामसम् ऐन्द्रियं सृजे एते वयम् अस्य वसे महात्मनः स्थिता शकुन्ता इव सूत्रयन्त्रिताः महान् अहं वैकृत तामसेन्द्रिया सृजाम सर्वे यद् अनुग्रहाद् इदम्. From that Supreme Personality of Godhead appears Lord Brahma, whose body is made from the total material energy, the reservoir of intelligence predominated by passion mode of material nature. From Lord Brahma, I myself am born as a representative of false ego known as Rudra. By my own power, I create all the other demigods. the five elements and the senses. Therefore, I worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is greater than any of us and under whose control are situated all the demigods, material elements, and senses, and even Lord Brahma and I myself, like birds bound by a rope. Only by the Lord's grace can we create, maintain, and annihilate the material world. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Being. यन्निर्मितां कर्ह्यपि पर्वणीं मायां जनोऽयं गुणसर्गमोहितः न वेदनिस्तारणयोगमाञ्जसा तस्मै नमस्ते विलयोदयात्मने. The illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead binds all of us, conditioned souls, to this material world. Therefore, without being favored by Him, persons like us cannot understand how to get out of that illusory energy. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Lord, who is the cause of creation and annihilation. Hare Krishna. He ends this chapter 17, if I'm not, yeah, 17 from the fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The descent of river Ganges. Let me check if I have precise notes. Chapter 17. Yes, I do have. Okay, nice. Okay, so in this particular chapter, we are seeing how the Ganges. We know that of the rivers, Ganges is considered very sacred, and we see the origin of Ganges, where Shukadeva Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj, hey, when Vamanadev took this mm, three steps, and during this three step, when he put the second step into the sky, when he was stretching more and more to occupy the 14 worlds, then what happened is it punctured, made a small hole to the covering, and from which the causal ocean, which is where Lord Mahavishnu, he is laying in that causal ocean. And in that causal ocean, yeah, we know that when Mahavishnu is inhaling and exhaling, yeah, during this process, then when he exhales, when he inhales, I think, when he inhales, other- from his hair pores emanates so many universes. And when he exhales, then everything becomes again unmanifested. Again, all the universes will go back into him. So in this description, where is he lying? He is lying in the causal ocean. And from this causal ocean, what happens is that ocean itself. Yeah, what is this ocean? This is basically the water, the water of Lord Vishnu. Yeah, yeah. What is it? Yeah, it's a sacred water. Yeah, and this water, when Lord Vamandev, because of his big toe nail, when it pierced through that membrane, then the water started coming. And after thousands of years, I think the first recipient of this, it says, after 1000 millenniums, the water of Ganges descended to Dhruvaloka, the topmost planet in this universe. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions many sages, including Shankaracharya, have composed prayers in the praise of Ganga. What is the prayer? There is Saundarya Lahari in the glories of Shivananda Lahari, Saundarya Lahari. Yeah, I have to recollect what are the prayers for Ganges. And the land of India itself has become glorious because such rivers as Ganges, Yamuna, Godavari, Kaveri, Krishna, Narmada flow there. Anyone living on the land adjacent to these rivers is naturally advanced in spiritual consciousness. Okay, so some inspiration why we have to retire. I mean, if at all we want to retire in spiritual holy places, yeah, why all these special places? Yeah, is it? Srila Madhvacharya says, Varahe Vamapadam tu tad anyeshu tu dakshinam pade kalpeshu Bhagavan ujjahara trivikramaha. Standing on his right foot and extending his left foot to the edge of the universe, Lord Vamanadev became known as Trivikrama. Trivikrama and the incarnation who performed three heroic deeds. So that is a speciality. And um, then we see Dhruvaloka. In the Dhruvaloka, the resident is Dhruva Maharaj. Hmm? And Dhruva Maharaj, situated on his own planet, to this very day accepts that water on his head. So, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions when a person firmly fixed in devotional service, he is called Veeravrata. We know Dhrida and Veeravrata means fully determined. Such a devotee increases his ecstasy in devotional service more and more. And thus, as soon as he remembers Lord Vishnu, his eyes fills with tear, and this is the feelings or symptoms of Mahabhagavata. So, hey, how dry are we? Yeah, we can see how dry are we. Uh, we can know by how less are we. mm, Uh, Tears come out of our eyes. We are literally very dry. No emotions. The symptoms of Mahabhagavat is the moment they are remembering, worshipping the Lord, then tears roll from their eyes. Dhruv Maharaj maintained himself in that devotional ecstasy, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also gave us a practical example of transcendental ecstasy when he lived in Jagannath Puri. In that, then there is further explanation that, you know, just as Gyanis think that merging into existence of the Lord is the highest, then there are the Sapta Rishis, the seven sages, Marichi, Atri, Vashishta, Jamini, sorry, Gautam Rishi, um, 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 then so these rishis, they consider devotional service as the topmost, not like okay, no, Gyan is the topmost. All these sages regard devotional service as the highest perfection of life. Therefore, they all carry the holy water Ganges on their heads. Uh, in fact, in this regard, what is topmost? I don't know. Yeah, when we were having a home program in Hamburg, then we asked what is the ultimate goal of life. Someone said, Vai Vairagya, moksha. Sorry, moksha is what they want. Yeah, in fact, we see it said that Sridhar Swami states that only by achieving pure devotional service of the Lord can one give up all other engagements as insignificant. Prabodhananda Saraswati confirms his statement as follows: Kaivalyam narakayate tridasha pur akasha pushpayate. So he's saying Kaivalyam narakayate. Kaivalyam, whatever that way they were saying, na moksha, I want this. It's like a hell. Uh, Durdantendriya kala sarpa patali पोत्खात दंष्ट्रायते विश्वं पूर्ण सुखायते विधि महेन्द्रादि च कीटायते कीटायते यत् कारुण्य कटाक्ष वैभववतां तं गौरम एव स्तुमः. Uh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has perfectly enunciated and broadcasted Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, it said, consequently, for one who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Gauram, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the highest perfection of Mayavad Kaivalya, or becoming one with the Supreme is considered hellish. To say nothing of karmis, aspiration to be promoted to heavenly planet. All these things are nothing in front of bhakti. Yogi now, that's why Krishna is declaring, oh, you can become Jnana Yogi, Dhyana Yogi, all these things is fine. What about Bhakti Yogi? Yoginam api sarvesham madgater antaratmanah shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo mata. Same to me, yukta tamo, very intelligent, the best. Tamo is the best of yukta, mataha. It is a highest of all. What is that? Intimately united with me. Shraddhavan bhajate yomam. If one worships with full devotion to me, same yukta tamo mata is the best. Anyway, after this, Ganges is flowing further, and then finally reaches Lord Brahmaloka, and then it inundates the moon, Chandraloka, and finally reaches Lord Brahma's abode atop Mountain Meru. And then, huh? So it is said after the water of causal ocean leaks through the hole created by Lord Vamanadev, it flows down to Dhruvaloka and then to the seventh planet beneath the Dhruvaloka. Then it is carried to the moon, huh, by innumerable celestial airplanes, and then it falls to the top of Meru, which is known as Sumeru Parvata. In this way, water of Ganges finally reaches the lower planets and peaks of Himalaya, and from there it flows through Hardwar and throughout the plains of India, purifying the entire land. I mean, and then it goes further. Prabhupada mentions how the Ganges water reaches the various planets from the top of the universe is explained here. Celestial airplanes carry the water from planets. Yeah, so unimaginable, right? But the planets are this water is coming from one planet to other with celestial arrangement. So-called advanced scientists of the modern age are trying to go to the higher planets, but at the same time they are experiencing a power shortage on the Earth. If they were actually capable scientists, they could personally go by airplane to other planets, but this they are unable to do. Having now given up their moon excursions, they are attempting to go to other planets without success. Anyway, so in this way, the water is coming down, and then different planets are inundated. This is what is mentioned. And what is time? Let me quickly check. Much time, maybe 5 minutes, and then we will close and continue the remaining part later. So similarly here, you may have heard in the Hardwar, yeah, what is that? Deva Prayag, Rudra Prayag. What are the other Prayag? Brahma Prayag? I forgot. Parth Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, two
Deva
prayags are
Prayag,
there.
Rudra Prayag. What are other Prayags? I forgot. And where does the Alakananda come?
So there is only Dev Prayag. Alakananda and Bhagirathi meets and become Ganga.
Okay.
And
Okay.
before that, there is another Prayag, Rudra Prayag, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Maybe when we do this yatra, na, then we will have more yeah, knowledge and can remember better. Hmm. So anyway, here we are telling about Alakananda. Alakananda flows from the southern side of Brahmapuri, uh, passing over the top of mountains in various lands. It falls down with fierce force through the Hemakuta and Himakuta, and in this way it will come down. And it is said it is not very difficult for them to achieve with every step the result of performing great sacrifices. So that's why we see, that's why it has so much importance for everyone to go there and take a holy dip. Why? Because though it is very difficult, this Char Dham, and especially when one is able to reach to that in spite of very tough conditions, taking bath, yeah, is, yeah, here it is said, like performing great sacrifices like Rajasuya Yajna or Ashwamedha Yajna. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions the place where Ganges flows into the south, into the salt water of Bay of Bengal is still known as Ganga Sagar, or meeting place of Ganges and the Bay of Bengal. On Makara Sankranti, on the month of Jan-Feb, thousands of people still go there to take bath, hoping to be liberated. That they can actually be liberated in this way is confirmed here. Hmm. And in further purport, it is said at Prayag, Allahabad, many thousands of people gather during the month of Jan to bath in the confluence of Ganga and Yamuna. Afterward, many of them go to the confluence of Bay of Bengal and the Ganges to take bath there. Thus, it is a special facility for all people of India that they can bath in water of Ganges at so many places of pilgrimage. I don't know. Are we ready for next pilgrim to go through and be blessed? We can plan. Hmm. So, and then it goes further. After the 9 Varshas, the tract of land Bharata Varsha is understood to be field of fruitive activity. In that regard, it is said in the purport, Prabhupada mentions the heavenly places of enjoyment are divided into three categories. This me needs some understanding. The first one is the heavenly places on earth. Sorry, the celestial heavenly planets, Swargaloka and etc. Then the heavenly places on earth and the Bila heavenly places which are found in the lower regions. Among these three classes of heavenly places, Bhauma Swarga Padani, the heavenly places on earth are the 8 Varshas other than Bharata Varsha. Hmm. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, Shine Punya Matya Lokam Vishanti. When the persons living in the heavenly planets exhaust the result of their pious activities, they return to this earth. In this way, they are elevated to the heavenly planets and they again fall to the earthly planets. This process is known as Brahmanda Brahmana, wandering up and down. Then there is also, maybe in later purport it will come. Then they are situated on one of the planets known as Vaikuntha Loka or still higher Krishna Loka. A devotee is never caught in the process of being promoted to heavenly planets and again coming down. हाँ, ये रूपे ब्रह्मांड भ्रमिते कौन भाग्यवान जीव Guru Krishna prasade paye bhakti lata bij. So one is fortunate when he is getting the seed of bhakti rather than even uh, traveling to the higher planets. Hmm. Hmm. This particular purport is 11th one is elaborate. One may read to understand what is Bharatavarsha, what is Bhaumasvarga. All these things are mentioned. Yeah, for example, of the three divisions of heavenly planets, Svargaloka, Bhaumasvarga is sometimes accepted as the tract of land in Bharatavarsha known as Kashmir. In this region, there are certainly good facilities for material sense enjoyment, but this is not the business of a pure transcendentalist. Rupa Goswami describes Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhanavritam Anukulyena Krishnanushīlanam Bhaktir Uttama. So wherever one should focus on bhakti. Those who fully engage in devotional service to Krishna just to please him are not interested in the three divisions of heavenly places named Divya Swarga, Bhauma Swarga, Bila Swarga. We are not interested in any Swarga. Yeah. So from 12 to the end of the chapter we will cover next week. Yeah. Thank you very much. Quite a bit of info, right? Anything someone would like to add? If someone have gone to any of these places?
Yes, Prabhuji, I visited Dev and Haridwar, Rishikesh,
Hmm. Nice.
but not Gangotri.
Okay. For me, that still is on a map, so I still don't have an idea. But maybe let's see what Krishna plan is. Good. Then have a nice evening. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow, 7:30. We are, I think we finished sixth canto, if I'm not wrong. Am I think, yeah, we finished sixth canto, right? Sugandha Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I think you read the last chapter of the sixth canto. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just double checking. But I think, yeah, then we are starting. The question I have is, should we go through the seventh canto with Prahlad Maharaj, or we go, yeah, straight after that from the Bhagavad Sapta? What do you prefer?
Actually, you were thinking today is uh, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Parents' Day.
Yeah, okay. Tomorrow we will cover that, na?
Yeah.
Then we, yeah, on the occasion of auspicious appearance of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Then at least tomorrow, yeah, we will remember him. Yeah, 7:30. Someone would like to know the glories of our Parama Guru, or Guru of Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, please join. Then Panchakalpatarabhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanand. Hare Krishna.